Stigma has existed for a very long time. In 2012, Alzheimer's Disease International, ADI, did our first World Alzheimer report on stigma, and we still have a long way to go. We find that there's issues around stigma in the language that we use, in the way we treat people with dementia, in the way we include them and how we make plans, and some of the research and projects that we do. And this creates a situation where people are fearful and they try to hide it, and it can make them less prone to go and get a diagnosis. And it's very important that people have a diagnosis so that we can get them the proper care and support as well as their carers, because dementia is really a condition that affects the whole family, not just the person living with a diagnosis. And what we can do to sort of break that stigma is by doing just what we're doing today at this conference. So talking about it, talking about how stigma impacts not only the general public and the awareness in the general public, but how we can start to break down some of the stigma in professional medical and health and social care systems, and how we can start to include people more. It's very important. And so the World Alzheimer's Month and World Alzheimer's Day, all the activities around that is so important to break this down and inform the general public, because more knowledge, people are less fearful and more accepting. ADI commissioned the London School of Economics to help us do that piece of work, and we looked at 4 different groups. We looked at carers, we looked at people living with dementia, we looked at health and social care workers, and we also looked at the general public. So we had 4 different types of questionnaires that people filled out. We had it translated into 32 different languages, even in Italian, and we had it go over 2 months. And we were astounded. We had almost 70,000 people respond to that survey. So we've been really busy analyzing those data now for the past few months. And some of the themes that came out of it, we've split them into three different areas, looking at people's knowledge, people's attitudes, and how that affects their behavior. And these varied greatly between different regions and in different economic groups and from country to country. So it's very interesting to sort of break it all down. But some of the themes that were surprising is thinking about whether or not people think that it's a normal part of aging, whether or not people think people living with dementia are dangerous or impulsive, whether or not there are adequate health and social care services in specific countries, whether or not people that are doctors ignore the person living with dementia, and what people with dementia themselves feel about whether or not their opinions are taken seriously, and whether or not they are listened to, and whether people do things for them and take away their own productivity. So there's some very interesting themes running through it. It's going to be a long report, and on top of it, we are supplementing that with expert essays and some case studies that will really give a fuller picture about stigma at a global level.